case you were wondering where that chuckle was coming from.
Well, first, Elizabeth
J.D.
Warren,
Hayworth, everyone.
First, she tried to claim that she was Native American because of high cheekbones to get a special Harvard Law faculty position. Now we're finding out that she and her husband were flipping foreclosed homes, but that's okay. She's a leftist. She always cares.
Everybody was doing it back then.
Everybody was
everybody.
Kidding. Let's talk about the other side of the presidential field. Getting bigger, expanding. Rick Santorum launching his 2016 presidential bid. He had this to say about his competitor, Senator Rand Paul's claim that ISIS has come into being because of hawks in the GOP.
I would expect to hear that from maybe Bernie Sanders. I don't expect to hear that from someone running for the Republican nomination. I think that is just fundamentally a misunderstanding of the nature of the enemy we face.
Rand Paul going too far with his
Well, we
statement?
predicted this yesterday.
Yeah.
We sat out here and talked about the fact that it departs so far from GOP orthodoxy. Even if you're disappointed in the Iraqis, to somehow claim that Republicans had anything to do with creating ISIS, it ain't going to play. And what was really, not to get too inside baseball, but to whom did Rick Santorum grant that interview?
George Stephanopoulos.
Yes, George Stephanopoulos. Now, in terms of early campaign exposure under what would typically be a hostile situation, he actually threw a bone to Stephanopoulos, guaranteeing prominence last night on ABC and again this morning on Good Morning America. So in terms of making a splash with an announcement, Santorum, by allowing Stephanopoulos a little bit back on the rehab trail, that was a pretty smart move.
I think it was very savvy. And, you know, you look at the 2012 Rick Santorum campaign, he should not be discounted as a candidate. He won the Iowa caucuses. He almost won Romney's sort of home state, Michigan, in the primary there, which would have thrown things in complete disarray.
Well, he's used to that, right? Being underestimated.
Well, yeah, he was never favored to win any race in which he was involved, starting with the House of Representatives to the U.S. Senate seat he took away from, I believe it was Harris Wofford of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
The reason I can remember, it's 1994. I know you kids were still in school, but hey, I was that was the year I was elected to the House. Ricky's a good guy, and the challenge for former Senator Santorum is the fact that so many folks kind of fill the bill of social conservatism. Mike Huckabee is back in it, and Ben Carson is in it. And so you've got that going, and just wonder if Santorum can repeat what he was able to do in 2012. I think it's going to be an uphill battle.
What about Pataki?
George obviously has the good sense to come be with us on Newsmax TV quite a bit. Talk about a guy who's been underestimated. I mean, in '94, you saw a situation where Governor Cuomo was so much the odds-on favorite, but the national wave caught Pataki, got elected, had two very successful terms.
But a lot of people think he doesn't have a chance.
Well, it's going to be tough. He's playing New Hampshire, and it was good to see him in a blue suit because he almost becomes the man in the gray flannel suit. He's a steady guy. He's a dependable guy. But I think even George would admit maybe he's not a flashy, charismatic kind of guy. So that could be a challenge for him, but he's a great guy, and we'll see what happens.
What do you have coming up tonight on Newsmax Prime?
Oh, we've got plenty tonight. General Michael Hayden, former director of the CIA and the NSA, will join us. Another former CIA official said, hey, ISIS could win this thing. We're going to get General Hayden's reaction to that, and also talk about what he suggests Congress might do with the Patriot Act. That and more, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here.
Still more to come on Newsmax Now.